Thank you so much for being here with us at Smart Wealth and Tech. We deeply appreciate your time and your willingness to grow, and we believe in your potential to break free from fear and live a life of peace and purpose. If you find value in this content, we encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe so you can continue to receive insights that help you live your best life. Let's begin this transformative journey together. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions that holds people back. It stops us from achieving our goals, pursuing our passions, and even from living fully in the moment. But what is fear, really? It's nothing more than an illusion. As the famous acronym suggests, fear stands for false evidence appearing real. This means that fear isn't always based on reality. Most of the time, the things we fear don't even happen. They exist only in our minds, fed by overthinking, doubts, and assumptions. So why do we give so much attention to fear? Why do we allow it to control our decisions, our thoughts, and even our actions? The truth is, fear is a survival mechanism that is deeply embedded in the human brain. Our brains are wired to protect us from danger, to keep us safe from threats. But here's the key. Most of the fears we face today are not real dangers. They're constructs of the mind, what we call false evidence. They're worries about things that might never happen, concerns about how others perceive us, or doubts about our own abilities. These fears don't serve us, they only hold us back. Imagine what your life would look like if you weren't controlled by fear. Imagine if you could move forward with confidence, without second-guessing every decision or doubting yourself. The good news is that this is possible. You have the power to break free from fear and take control of your life. It all begins with a shift in perspective. Fear thrives on uncertainty, on the unknown. But when you take a closer look at what you're actually afraid of, you often realize that your fear is based on false beliefs, assumptions, or exaggerated possibilities. For example, you might fear failure, thinking that if you don't succeed, others will judge you or that you'll be embarrassed. But ask yourself, how many times have you feared something, only to realize afterward that it wasn't as bad as you imagined? How often have you let fear stop you from doing something that could have brought you joy or fulfillment? The first step in breaking free from fear is recognizing it for what it is, an illusion. Fear exists in the mind, and it is fueled by overthinking. The more you think about something, the more you give it power. If you focus on what could go wrong, your brain will create scenarios that intensify your fear. But if you shift your focus to what could go right, you start to see the possibilities instead of the obstacles. One of the most effective ways to deal with fear is to stop overthinking. Overthinking is like feeding a fire. Every additional thought only makes the fear grow stronger. Instead of letting your mind spiral into endless what ifs, bring yourself back to the present moment. Ask yourself, what can I control right now? What is real, and what is simply a projection of my mind? The more present you are, the less power fear has over you. It's also important to understand that fear is often linked to external factors, other people's opinions, societal expectations, or even our own unrealistic standards. We fear judgment, rejection, or failure because we're constantly comparing ourselves to others or measuring ourselves against expectations that don't truly align with who we are. But here's the truth. No one's opinion matters more than your own. You don't need anyone's approval to live a fulfilling life. You don't need validation from others to pursue your passions or to follow your dreams. The more you focus on what others think, the more you give your power away to fear. Take a moment to reflect on how much of your fear is based on external influences. Are you afraid of pursuing a new career because you worry about what others will say? Are you hesitant to take risks because you're concerned about failing in front of others? These fears are not real. They are created by your mind, based on the false belief that others' opinions define your worth. But the truth is, your worth is not determined by anyone but yourself. To break free from fear, you need to reclaim your power. Stop giving attention to things that don't matter, whether it's the judgment of others or the fear of failing. Your energy is far too valuable to waste on things that hold you back. When you stop feeding your fear with overthinking and external validation, you create space for courage, confidence, and growth. Another important aspect of overcoming fear is learning to calm your mind. Fear often causes our thoughts to race, creating a sense of panic or overwhelm. But your mind is a tool, nothing more. It's something you can control. When you feel fear rising, take a moment to pause. Breathe deeply, and remind yourself that these thoughts are just that, thoughts. They are not real. They have no power over you unless you give them power. One powerful way to calm your mind is through mindfulness or meditation. By focusing on your breath or being fully present in the moment, you can quiet the noise of your thoughts and bring yourself back to a state of calm. Meditation doesn't require hours of practice. Even just a few minutes a day can make a significant difference in how you manage fear and anxiety. The more you practice being present, the more you'll realize that fear only exists in the future or the past, it doesn't exist in the now. As you continue to break free from fear, you'll notice a profound shift in your life. You'll start to take risks you once hesitated to take. You'll pursue opportunities that once seemed too daunting. You'll stop overthinking every decision and start trusting yourself more. Fear will no longer dictate your actions, you will. And it's important to remember that breaking free from fear is not about eliminating fear completely. Fear is a natural emotion, and it will always be part of the human experience. The key is not to let fear control you. Instead of letting fear paralyze you, let it be a signal that you're stepping out of your comfort zone. Let it remind you that growth happens when you move beyond what feels safe. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to act in spite of it. In the end, breaking free from fear is about reclaiming your power. It's about recognizing that fear is a false construct of the mind and that you are far stronger than you realize. You have the ability to shape your reality, to choose your thoughts, and to decide how you respond to life's challenges. The more you practice this mindset, the more fearless you will become. Thank you so much for being here with us on this journey. We hope this message resonated with you and inspired you to take action in your own life. If you found value in this content, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe so we can continue providing you with insights that empower and uplift you. You have the power to break free from fear and live the life you truly want. You've got this, and we're here to support you every step of the way. Keep growing, keep believing, and keep moving forward, because nothing can hold you back when you stop letting fear control your life. You said, "Why fear is just an illusion. Take control and stop overthinking." I need content for this title. Use thank you statement. Please add value to the content from start to middle and all the way to finish. Let do 3,000 word extremely professional and researched content. No titles, no numbers. 2 halves. ChatGPT said. ChatGPT, thank you so much for being here with us at Smart Wealth and Tech. We truly appreciate your time, and we value your commitment to personal growth. Your journey to becoming the best version of yourself is one we are honored to support. If you find value in this content, we invite you to like, comment, and subscribe so you can continue receiving insights that help you unlock your full potential. Let's dive into a transformative topic that could change how you see fear and, ultimately, how you approach life. Fear is one of the most powerful forces that holds people back. It can paralyze us, prevent us from taking action, and stop us from living fully. But what if we told you that fear is just an illusion? Yes, it feels real, your heart races, your palms sweat, and your mind spirals into overthinking. But fear, at its core, is not grounded in reality. It's a projection of your mind, something that your brain creates to protect you from imagined threats. Once you understand this, you can begin to take control of your fear, stop overthinking, and start living more freely. Fear is a natural human emotion. It's wired into our biology as a survival mechanism. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors relied on fear to stay alive. When a dangerous animal appeared or when they were faced with life-threatening situations, fear activated the fight or flight response, helping them react quickly to danger. But in today's world, most of the things we fear are not life-threatening. They are social, emotional, or psychological fears. Things like fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of rejection, or fear of the unknown. These fears are based on thoughts, not actual danger. And this is where the illusion of fear begins. Your brain is an incredibly powerful tool, but it also has a tendency to create scenarios that aren't real. When you're afraid of something, your brain magnifies the potential threat, making it seem bigger and more dangerous than it actually is. For example, let's say you're afraid of public speaking. Your mind might start to create images of you standing in front of a crowd, forgetting your words, and being laughed at. It might make you believe that if you make a mistake, it will be a disaster. But in reality, most of these fears never come to pass. Fear is fueled by overthinking, by running through worst-case scenarios that are unlikely to happen. And yet, we give fear so much attention and power over our lives. One of the key reasons fear has such a grip on us is because we confuse thoughts with reality. When you feel fear, it's because your mind has created a narrative, a story about what might happen. But here's the thing. Just because your mind tells you a story doesn't mean it's true. The human brain is designed to protect us, and one of the ways it does this is by creating false evidence that appears real. That's why the acronym for fear, false evidence appearing real, is so fitting. Fear takes what could happen and presents it to you as if it's already happening or about to happen. But if you take a step back and really analyze your fear, you'll often find that it's based on assumptions, not facts. Let's take a moment to reflect on how much fear influences your life. Are there things you've avoided doing because you're afraid of failure or judgment? Have you held yourself back from pursuing your goals because you're worried about what might go wrong? If so, you're not alone. Fear is a common experience, but the good news is that you have the power to change how you respond to it. Once you recognize that fear is an illusion, a mental construct designed to keep you safe but not necessarily fulfilled, you can begin to take control of it. One of the most effective ways to take control of fear is by shifting your perspective. Instead of seeing fear as a barrier, start viewing it as a signal that you're stepping out of your comfort zone. Growth happens outside of comfort, and fear is often a sign that you're on the verge of something transformative. When you feel fear, instead of retreating, lean into it. Ask yourself, what is this fear really about? Is it based on something real, or is it a story my mind has created? When you start to question your fears, you'll often find that they lose their grip on you. It's also important to understand the role that overthinking plays in perpetuating fear. Overthinking is like giving fear a megaphone. The more you ruminate on what might go wrong, the more real your fear becomes. Your mind starts to build layers upon layers of what-ifs, turning a small concern into an overwhelming problem. But overthinking doesn't solve anything. It doesn't bring clarity or peace, it only amplifies the fear. So how do you stop overthinking? The first step is to become aware of when your mind is spiraling. Notice when you start replaying the same fears or anxieties in your head. When you catch yourself overthinking, pause. Take a deep breath and ground yourself in the present moment. Remind yourself that the fear you're experiencing is not real, it's a creation of your mind. By bringing yourself back to the present, you can interrupt the cycle of overthinking and regain control of your thoughts. Another powerful tool for overcoming fear is mindfulness. Mindfulness teaches you to observe your thoughts without getting caught up in them. Instead of letting fear dominate your thinking, mindfulness allows you to acknowledge the fear without letting it dictate your actions. When you practice mindfulness, you create space between yourself and your thoughts. This space gives you the opportunity to choose how you want to respond, rather than reacting out of fear. Over time, mindfulness helps you build resilience and develop a greater sense of inner calm, even in the face of fear. Taking control of your fear also requires taking action. Fear thrives in inaction. The longer you avoid facing your fears, the stronger they become. But when you take action, even small steps, you begin to dismantle the illusion of fear. Think about something you've been afraid to do. Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting, starting a new project, or making a life change. What would happen if you took one small step toward that goal? Would it really be as scary as your mind has made it out to be? The truth is, most of the time, when we finally take action, we realize that our fears were exaggerated. Action is the antidote to fear because it moves you from a place of uncertainty to a place of empowerment. When you act, you shift your focus from what could go wrong to what you can do to make things go right. Each step you take, no matter how small, builds momentum. As you move forward, your fear diminishes, and your confidence grows. Fear loses its power when you confront it head-on with purposeful action. It's also important to recognize that fear doesn't have to disappear completely for you to move forward. courage isn't about the absence of fear, it's about taking action in spite of it. Even the most successful people feel fear, but they don't let it stop them. They understand that fear is part of the process, but it doesn't define the outcome. The more you practice acting in the face of fear, the more resilient and unstoppable you become. As you continue to break free from the illusion of fear, you'll notice a shift in how you approach challenges and opportunities. You'll start to see fear for what it really is, a mental projection, not a reflection of reality. And once you stop giving so much attention to fear, you'll find that you have more energy, more clarity, and more confidence to pursue the things that matter most to you. Fear is not a force that should control your life. It's a tool that your brain uses to keep you safe, but it's also something you can learn to manage and overcome. By recognizing that fear is just an illusion, by stopping the cycle of overthinking, and by taking purposeful action, you can take control of your life and start living without the limitations that fear imposes. Thank you so much for watching and for taking the time to invest in yourself. We hope this message resonated with you and inspired you to take control of your fear and stop overthinking. If you found value in this content, please like, comment, and subscribe to Smart Wealth and Tech for more insights and strategies to help you unlock your full potential. Remember, fear is just an illusion. Once you realize this, nothing can stop you from achieving the life you truly want. You've got this, and we're here to support you every step of the way. Keep moving forward, and never let fear hold you back.